Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a new high-level best of 3 of StarCraft 2. Today we have MaxPax here in the bottom right, in the red trunks, fighting off Solar here with the blue color. First map is going to be Side Delta, cheeky little best of 3 from the ESL Open Cup America. So we're gonna have to wait and see what Max's plans are over here. So far, just sending that first adept across the map. Stargate into Stalker as a follow-up. Whenever I think of MaxPax, I think to myself, this is the perfect guy to copy. You know? He's currently probably the best protoss player. It's either him or Hero. Hero actually making a good case for himself after his performance in the Masters Coliseum 7. But MaxPax making a good case for himself basically in every other tournament he plays. And the beauty about MaxPax is, if you're a protoss player like myself, is that you look at him and you think to yourself, that is doable. And on top of that, he also gives a lot of information, because he plays the same thing pretty much every single game, the same style with the same types of responses. So if you just watch enough MaxPax replays, you can pretty much map out his entire tree of responses that he has prepared for whatever is coming his way. And he has an answer to pretty much everything because he plays so freaking many tournaments. He plays against a lot of different opponents. He's played against everything at this point. He's very fast, of course, so that might be... Well, APM-wise, he's actually not that quick, as we will see over here. He has an average APM of about 300, 310. It's not super fast. It's pretty quick, but not insane. So technically, it should be viable to copy him, but then, for whatever reason, it really isn't that easy. This Oracle now is going to be flying in here. He's going to get a couple of kills. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. And he's going to piss off as well. So that Spore Crawler not quite useful enough in the defense. 2 crawlers have been built pretty much instantly. And then still losing 3 workers. It's not going to be great. Do we have a third? Yes, we do have a third Oracle. Quick Evo Chamber coming out. As MaxPax is going to be moving with triple adepts across the map. Seeing if he can get something done. Not sure what the answer is going to be to that. I think the answer might just be no. And you can always clear a little bit of creep, of course. It's going to go for a 2-1 split here, which is interesting. Adepts dealing well with those links. 3 adepts can one-shot tumors. It's truly the 3 musketeers. Sometimes just with 2 though, if you want to kill drones. But very often it's super nice to just have 3 of these guys. A couple of revelations get used. Will clear a bunch of creep tumors. As this Oracle in the main base is trying to get damage done. Doesn't quite get it. This base is technically empty right now. MaxPax should be aware of that, as he saw a bunch of these queens just roaming around. Denying creep is so important if you're planning on playing Blink. And that is apparently what MaxPax is planning on doing. 5 adepts are out. He's going to continue putting on pressure here. Nothing really defensively on the other side of the map. A simple Ling run by perhaps could have done something. It's not what Solar's playing here though. Robotics facility going up behind this. 4 more gates. Just sticking with a single forge for now. 60 probes have finished up. Here come the triple oracles. Gonna take out 1. Are gonna take out... No, just 1 for now. 5 adepts. Oh my god, that's a lot of links. That is almost too many links for what this is. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna deal with it, but did you really deal with it? This is like if a kid is ringing your doorbell every other day. And then what you do is every time someone rings your doorbell, a shotgun goes off. It takes out the person that's ringing your doorbell. Like, does it deal with your problem? Yes, but I think you probably have bigger problems now. And that's the same here with Solar. I think he built a lot of links there to deal with 5 adepts. Not entirely sure if that's what you want to do in life. Not entirely sure if that's what you want to do. 68 drones versus 65 against someone that's already teching into double robotics. With a thermal lens, with the Robo Bay, Colossus, 4th base on the way. So although this looks okay for Solar right now, let's take a look at his actual assets here. He has hardly any creep, which means that these Stalkers could potentially be dangerous. He doesn't really have high tech, which means that these Colossus potentially could be dangerous. Doesn't have Ravagers yet, and I don't think his link count is actually high enough right now. It was high enough for the 5 adepts. Not sure if it's high enough right now to just deal with this Stalker count. We still have that 3rd Oracle flying around as well. Some more Stalkers are going to get warped in. As MaxPax continues pushing in forward, starts by attacking these rocks. Not entirely sure what the point is of that, but he did it. Can't help himself, I guess. Not many people know this about MaxPax, but when he was a young boy, he wanted to become a geologist. He's always been fascinated by rocks, the rock formations, and, you know, how they get made. It's a beautiful process. Then he became really good at StarCraft, and you know, it was kind of a natural pathway into becoming a professional StarCraft player. But you still see that passion for rocks when he attacks him in those types of moments. I think these are fine traits, by the way, for Max. Not great, fine-ish. He keeps the creep practically non-existent here on the 4th. I was gonna say, I hope we have charge on the way. I'd even love to see, I'd even love to see a second forge here. I think it would be a good call. Second forge, you have a lot of map control. There's very little creep. You're gonna be capable of setting a zealot run by towards this 5th while continuously pushing this area. And MaxPax really is playing this matchup, this PvZ matchup, almost as if it is a TERRAN versus Zerg. Really focused on creep denial, which is cool to see, to be honest. There's a couple of stasis wards here gonna get churned out. I wish there was a way to see the amount of creep troopers left, but I don't quite know how to do this. Look, it's these stasis wards are almost like widow mines, and these colossus are kind of like tanks, and the stalkers are like bad marines, basically. It really feels PvZ-esque in a way. It's gonna follow this up with the Templar Archives as well, as he went up to 8 gases already. Very high gas count. Good army. Keeping these colossus in the back. Small amounts of units being pushed in forward, just to try and snipe a couple of Lynx or a Roach or a Queen or another Tumor. It's not overcommitting here. I really like the way that he's playing this. I really like the way he's playing this. Still needs to be careful though. Baneling's now starting to roll here off creep though. Also sure if Solar wants to continue attacking. Prism made its way to the other side of the map, as we might have a potential Zealot warp in. No, that's not going to be the case. Ooh, MaxPax is going to change the location where he attacks. I think that's a bad call. He has so much pressure here right now. You know, it's a cool move. Zealot warping over here, send it towards this base, Prism flying in towards the main. Then you have pressure on 4 or 3 spots at the same time. Seems to be the plan here for Max, as the Baneling count isn't very high at all. That might be an issue. Vipers, can they get sniped? One Colossus gets pulled in, second Colossus gets pulled in. That is -2 Colossus. As this was a very poor fight here for the young Dane, who now starts Storm, but it might just be a tiny tad too late. Hasn't started his 5th base quite yet either. Setting a couple of Zealots over there to just deal with the single Link that is chilling. Gate count is getting bigger and bigger. It's gonna go up to 12. I still believe that a second forge here would pay off much quicker than these extra gates will. Way more useful. It's kind of looking, you know, into the future. Our eye on the late game. And Solar is heading there. With the range upgrades, with the melee upgrades, and now Aspire. Do we have the Adrenal yet? We have Adrenal Glands indeed. 5th base here should be somewhat vulnerable to whatever Solar wants to throw at his opponent. Stasis Ward still doing a good job as well. Stalkers out on the map. Once again, I think a second forge here could be a very big thing. Because Solar is upgrading very rapidly on both of those units. And once +3 melee finishes up, I'm expecting Carapace upgrades to hit the field here as well. It's a large army here just chasing a Prism. Almost too big an army in a way. Colossus count at 3. As long as there are no lurkers and no ultras, Colossus Templar doesn't actually have a counter. And I think this is something... This is an issue that Solar will need to face. And you can pretend it doesn't exist, but then these Colossus are going to pretend that your army doesn't exist. These Storms are going to burst all of your Banelings down, and then you'll die. Because right now, I'm looking at these army values, and I'm seeing a very gas-heavy army here for MaxPax. And a lot of the gas for Solar is going to be in these Vipers and Banes, both of which get countered by the Templar. So, I am not entirely sure what the plan is here. Gate count still extremely high as well, so losing Zealots is not that big of a deal. Here comes a flank, is not really going to connect with anything. Stasis wards are helping out. Baneling count extremely low. 11 more do get produced. Zealots are pushing this back. There's lots of cash in the bank here for MaxPax, who's just absolutely owning. If protoss has a bank like this at this point in the game, that is a very good sign. He's up about 3k in resources lost as well. He's going to take out the 6th base as he has his own 5th. We have a Greater Spire on the way, but MaxPax already Teching into the triple Stargate plus Fleet Beacon. Only thing we're lacking is the air weapon upgrades. Here we go. Cybernetics core number 2 could go down as well, as the Zealots are just idling in no man's land. Are gonna get taken out as a result, most likely. Links with Adreno are powerful. A couple of Banes in the mix, even more powerful. Templar count actually fairly low, but then again so is the Bane count. Feedbacks are good, or at least good enough. As 4 more Archons here are gonna show up. I think all we're lacking with this army is a prism. More stasis wards gonna get thrown down. Keeping these oracles alive has been a godsend for MaxPax. Like, these constant stasis are so annoying to deal with. Here comes a flank. He's gonna walk into a couple of Archons, and this is just not looking great here for Solar. A lot of army still on the top side trying to deal with this run by. There's going to be a part 2 that should be dealt with as well at some point, as well, that was what the 4th base is gonna get taken out. +3 is gonna finish up after that happens. And any future fight is going to be significantly worse here for Solar. I think teching into carriers here is not necessarily a terrible call. It's going to be real difficult for Solar to get enough Corruptors out with solid upgrades to deal with that. Especially while he's still losing bases as well. So I don't mind it. Because in a way, if there's no air units, Solar could go Brood Lords and perhaps stabilize. But if there are air units, he's going to need to keep these Corruptors in Corruptor form, and then this army is just gonna own, because Corruptors don't deal well with this army at all. So these carriers are kind of like bait. They're saying, hey, get more Corruptors, no Brutes please. No units that can actually kill my ground army, because MaxPax, way superior army. Absolutely. He's gonna rotate here with his main army towards the top side, deny a little bit of creep, throw down a couple of stasis wards, while at the same time a Zealot Archon run by towards the bottom side of the map. There's no prism anywhere to be seen. That's not true. It's still near the main base. Could go in as well for a big warp in. It's not quite what's happening. Couple of storms raining down from the skies. Double Colossus are gonna get pulled in. Third Colossus also gets pulled forward. Not quite enough DPS out of Solar though to easily clear those. Not at a high pace. Prism could come in right now for a big warp in. I mean, we still have the 12 warp gates available. Feels like that might be a viable play, as these units have cleared this base once more. It's going to be 4 base versus 6. And soon to be maybe even 6 base versus 3. As this bad boy is very far in the red as well. MaxPax honestly with a phenomenal game. Like, legit just playing it like a Terran. This really felt Terran-esque out of MaxPax. GG's gonna get called. And this was extremely one-sided. Holy crap. Alrighty, game number 2 here will be played on Hardlat. With Max scouting with a quick probe. Looking for something, looking for an angle. Seeing if he can get something done. Not sure if that's going to be the case. Yeah, forces a drone off the line. This is one of these things that I don't quite understand. But Solar and Serral, whom I consider to be 2 brilliant Zerg players, both very often pull a drone off the line. And it is actually really quite bad to pull a drone off the line completely to chase a probe. It is just pure laziness, which is crazy because neither of these players are lazy in any other way. It is absolutely wild to me that in this one situation, this one niche situation in the early game, they just decide, you know what, we don't care. We're gonna pull this drone off the line. And when you talk with them about it, they know that they're being lazy as well. You know, it's like, they just get tilted sometimes when the probe harass is too good. They pull the drone off to deal with it. They're the only 2 guys at the high level that actually do it. I don't think there's anyone else that I'm familiar with that does it. Just what? It's so funny because everyone's always like optimizing every little thing in the early game and making sure that their builds it like 2 seconds faster, or it's 1.5 seconds faster. This gives you 20 more minerals and this 30 more minerals. But at the same time, it's like if you lose one probe somewhere, like all of that optimization, it was fun, and I'm sure it mattered, and all these little bits do add up, but at the same time it's all like, I don't know. I'm just not sure how big the actual impact is. Like, it's not that big, Does it really matter? I mean, it does, but does it really? It's so hard to figure it out sometimes. It's like your Oracle being 1 second quicker. Like, it might get you an extra drone kill or 2 extra drone kills. Then whenever I kill drones against Zerg, sometimes I feel like killing less drones against Zerg makes me play better. Because I feel like I'm not as ahead. Ooh, this is a nice move here out of Solar. It's gonna run past the pretty much the open wall here that MaxPax was using. It's kind of wild anyway to not have a wall at this point. Talking about playing risky, holy crap. Oracle, yep. It's gonna get all of those bad boys. Did he lose a probe? Yeah, I ended up losing a probe. It's an okay trade for Max still. What, 4 workers? Or 1 worker for 4 links. I think he's gonna be fine. Second Oracle. It's gonna join up with the first one as the third one starts. I freaking love the way he played with those adepts earlier. That was what, a 3 into 5 adept spot is what he went for. It was like a charm, it really did. He's gonna get a lot of kills here again. 4 kills instantly. He's gonna be happy with that. Those are all pre-5 minute kills as well. Those are early kills. That's important. There's a lot of mining denial that's happening then. Not gonna be oversaturated yet. Third Oracle's moving towards the far left. Watchtowers are taken, so that's all gonna be spotted. 3 queens in the main, 2 queens in the natural, and then 2 over here. So that's 7 total. 8. Wait, where's number 8? I can't count. Oh, there were 3 in the net. 8 queens is really a lot, by the way. We see 6 or 7, so serious investment here into queens coming out of Solar is gonna delay his gases as well as a result a little bit. Adepts actually gonna finish their shade. Link count not quite high enough yet. Adepts might be in a bit of trouble though, as these bad boys are moving in position. Oracles looking for something. Are gonna find 1, maybe 2 kills. These 2 adepts still manage to go in towards the main. Are gonna get 1 more kill there. 6 kills total. With this little attack. 10 overall. MaxPax finds himself once again in the lead. Following this up with Blink. +1. Fast robotics facility. Continuous worker production. As it wouldn't surprise me when we see that the second robotics facility as well as the Robo Bay being thrown down. Creep count once again not great. Also not terrible. I think this is definitely playable here for MaxPax. And for Solar. It's not like we have a 100% winner, but I don't know. 10 drones going down like that. Lots of links as well produced. Like, this is a different story. If you lose 10 drones and you build 5 links overall in this entire game so far, it's probably very good for Solar. But Solar's built a lot of links in this game already. Somewhere around 30. And then he loses 10 drones still, and a bunch of them due to adepts. Or the chaos that the adepts caused, right? Because these 2 oracles moving in towards this area, getting damage done there. That was only because the adepts managed to distract queens moving in towards the natural, of course. Stalker count is growing indeed. Second robotics facility as well as the Robo Bay here coming out. The simulator might get sniped by these links, whose +1 melee attack is gonna finish up in a couple of seconds. Not the end of the world. Usually when you're playing these double Robo Colossus builds, you don't actually lack too much gas. Especially if you're not adding any type of sentries. It's not gonna be like a sentry push here, at least doesn't feel like it. Fort base about to finish up, as MaxPax is going to move through the middle of the map here. And stasis wards are gonna be plopped down once more. Alright, what do we have over here, buddy? 85 workers to 68. Not a very high worker count, as this Ling run by is kind of nice. And this is something I think you really need to do. Once Toss is... It really feels like he's playing TERRAN here. Just kind of keeping positions off creep. Here even having a second force on the map, on the left side. Like, tell me this doesn't look like he just watched a couple of clam games and thought he was, he's like, oh, that's inspiring, that looks cool. These stalkers are gonna, stay off creep, move towards the middle now. So the prism is gonna probably warp in a couple of zealots and potentially move in towards the main. We immediately see a bunch of links, well, literally every single link moving towards that area as well. Potentially deal with a drop. Baneling walk by. It's not a run by or a roll by. This is just a waddle in. Gonna get perhaps a couple of worker kills. Nope, Max is gonna be quick enough. 3 worker kills for 4 Banes. That's a good trade here for the Protoss player. This time though, Solar with a quick transition into Ultra Cavern is what I can imagine. It's not building it quite yet, which is a mistake. He has a lot of cash in the bank. Not getting his Vipers yet either, or at least I'm not seeing them, yeah. No Vipers quite yet. Now we're finally starting all those Hive-Tech units, Ultra Cavern, Vipers, and Adrenal Glands. There's already a pretty serious push being set up here. This is 2 Colossus. Stalker count is still growing. Charge finishing up soon as well. So this Prism has made it to the Promised Land, behind the main base of the Zerg. That's where exactly where it wants to be. Stasis Ward count is at 2. Another Ling run by. It's gonna get stopped by a Super Battery, Stalker plus Cannon combination. See you later, Alligator. Melee level 2 not quite done here. 8 more Roads are on the way. 10 Zealots get warped in towards the opponent's natural. As MaxPax is going to actually force a lot of Lings back home and potentially kill this base as well. Putting Solar back onto to just a mere 4 bases. It's going to be 4 base versus 4 base. Baneling's now going to run in towards MaxPax's 4th. Gonna have to wait and see how the Dane is going to deal with this. Quick Stalker warping of 10 Stalkers. 8 probes will go down as 12 Banes fall. That was an okay trade once more here for MaxPax, who just instantly rebuilds 4 and then 4 more. 4 Colossus still out. Viper count is at 2. Templar Archive's not quite done yet. Viper's now moving forward. Stasis Wards in the back, of course, will be important. Here comes Snipe on Viper number 1. Will go down. Colossus helping out as in Abduct from the afterlife here. The Viper dies, but the arm still is out. Yeah, GG's just gonna get. Oh, look at that! Freaking Stalkers on the left. The Prism running in towards the fort. MaxPax is destroying his opponent. This was not close, and this is the first time in a long time where I've seen MaxPax with pretty much an entirely new style, or at least something. He was so keen on those double forges, Stalker Zealot, low gas. This is relatively high gas, but also relatively high pressure, with a lot of Stalkers on the map the entire time, and Solar did not have an answer for that. This is fun to watch. I'm going to keep an eye on this, see if I can find any more replays of MaxPax against Zergs in the next few days, and see how they are going to be dealing with it, because I'm actually fairly curious. This is cool to watch. It's a nice style that he played here, and yeah, cool stuff. Actually, I actually can't wait to try this tomorrow on the ladder. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Ciao, ciao.